Greetings! Check this out. So if you're a guitar player and you record yourself, I'm going to give you 4 reasons why you should be reamping instead of doing it the traditional way. These 4 reasons here are why you should be reamping instead of doing it the traditional way. But before we get to that, let's talk about traditional recording as of 2020, or at least the way I see it as traditional recording. So you play your guitar, signal goes into the amp. From the amp it comes out into the microphone, travels through the microphones or the cables into your interface, and then goes in your computer. You press and record, you're done. That's simple, right? So with traditional recording, you are performing and recording the sound of that performance at the same time. But with reamping, those are 2 separate stages. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna play something that I recorded using reamping. So with reamping, this is gonna get a little more complicated. Stick with me. So you play your guitar into your interface, and then your interface goes into your computer. And when you play, you record. Done. Okay, the performance part is done, that is, not the recording part. So you got the performance captured on your computer. What you then do is take that performance, that recorded signal, and you play it back, and it then goes into your interface, out of your interface, into the reamp pedal, and then goes into your amp, and then comes out of your amp as though if a guitarist was playing it live right in front of you. That signal then goes into the mics, back into the interface, back into the computer, and then you record that. So essentially, the computer is playing and recording at the same time. Now it sounds like a really convoluted process, right? Why would you want to do this over the traditional way, which is a lot simpler? With reamping and you record your performance, you don't have to worry about the sound, because the only thing you're going to hear is acoustically when you're playing that guitar, your pick is hitting the strings, and that's all you're going to hear. Whenever I record my guitar through my amp though, I like to turn that up really loud because I think it sounds better. And because I'm not a good guitar player, I end up playing the same thing over and over and over again. Now with traditional recording, that means long periods of recording with a very loud volume. 2 years ago, I'd say, I did a cover of Morbid Angel's Covenant of Death, and that literally took me 73 times to play that to get it down. And can you imagine what that sounded like in this basement for hours on end? I mean, I think my neighbors can pretty much hear what I'm doing, let alone the people living in this house, my family. And they're like, we don't mind if you keep playing, but I mean, it's like, come on, if you're not into it, listening to the same riff over and over again at ear-splitting levels, it's gotta be sonic torture for them. But before reamping, I used to patiently wait for them to leave, and then I would do my recording. And then let's say, you know they're gonna leave on Saturday for 2 hours, but it's only Monday. So you've got to wait 5 days for that 2-hour window. And then you got to think, well, I have to get it done right in that 2-hour window because that's all I have. That's a lot of pressure on you. And there's other factors too, like what if you wake up Saturday and you're not feeling well and you can't do it? And you have to wait a certain amount of time after that to get it done. So remember, the first stage of reamping is a performance, and that's all you need to concentrate on, which is a benefit. You don't have to worry about the sound because that's going to come later. And maybe this is just me, but you know, even though it sounds better when my amp is cranked all the way up, I don't perform as well when it's super loud. In fact, I'd say an above conversational level volume, that's when I tend to play the best. And I know it's a bit strange for a person who likes metal to say that.
What is wrong with you?
But if you play an instrument, you kind of know yourself. When you wake up that day, you might be feeling, okay, this is gonna be a good day or this is gonna be a bad day. So if you know it's gonna be a bad day, you just skip it and wait till you feel good. You can do it on a day instead of trying to squeeze your performance out of you on a set time. So reamping can really help you cut down the amount of time that you spend trying to get a good sound out of your microphones. So traditionally what I used to do was go to my amp, set up the microphones a certain way, come back over here, put my earbuds in, start playing and record at the same time, finish, listen to it, decide, I really don't like that take too much because it doesn't sound that good. So then I'd go back, put my guitar down, go back over to the amp, change the microphones just a small position, like a millimeter or so, come back over, sit down, put the earbuds back in, start playing record, listen to it, not like it, and you can see this keeps happening over and over again, and it got really frustrating. But with reamping, what I usually do is I'll take a certain riff, maybe play it 4 times, and for each time, I'll set up different microphone positions on the amp. I'll show you what I mean. So just randomly picking 4 spots on the speakers like that, it kind of gives me an idea where I want that microphone. It takes far less time than getting up, going back and doing this over and over again. I'm just curious, but out of those 4 mic positions you just heard, let me know in the comments below which one you like the best. Oh, one thing I almost forgot to mention. Let's say you're recording your new master hit record. You're doing it in your bedroom, and performance is perfect. Everything is captured on your computer, and all you have is a Line 6 Spider Line 6. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, something that maybe doesn't sound ideal. You run it to there, you record everything, doesn't sound what you want it to sound like. But later on, you get a better amp. You can crank that same performance through that amp. You're gonna have a totally different album. So before reamping, this is how I would do it. I make a drum track in my computer, then I'd play it back through my earbuds, and then I'd play my guitar along with that drum track and record at the same time. The problem with that is, in order to hear that drum track, because remember my amp is super loud, I'd have to crank up the drum track, which could permanently damage my ears. So then what I started doing was I'd get some headphones and put those on so I could keep the level of the drums reasonable while my amp was cranked, which was okay, but when you do that, it cuts out all the high frequencies of your guitar, and you can't hear the subtle mistakes you're making, which is not ideal. With reamping, I don't have to worry about that, because I just play it back once. I can go anywhere in the room while it's recording. I can go behind the amp, it doesn't matter. It's not going to damage your ears. And if you think there are more reasons off this list that I forgot, please let me know below. Or conversely, if you think that traditional recording is better than reamping, let me know that as well. If you like this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up or a subscribe, a bell notification, any of that stuff. I don't know why I'm rocking back and forth. See you next time.